this is Anthony Gordon, Artist Relations Manager for Avid, coming at you from NAMM 2013. And I am so thrilled to be here with Fitz from Fitz and the Tantrums. How are you?
I'm very good. Very, very happy to be here hanging with everybody at Avid.
All right. So we are very, very thrilled to have you guys playing at our party. We're doing the John Lennon Bus, the Imagine Party. We're going to be playing out here. One of the awesome things I think about NAMM is you come out here to check out some new music technology, and then you also get to see one of your favorite bands just throw down an awesome party set. I can't believe you're doing this. This is amazing. Thank you.
Oh, please. For me, to get to work with you guys, I've been a Pro Tools user since, I think even when it was still called Sound Designer too.
No kidding. So tell me about that. What role has it played in your development as a writer and as a musician, and have you used it to make the music that you make?
For me, digital recording and having that first Pro Tools rig was the most important, significant change in my life as a musician. It gave me the autonomy to make the kind of music I wanted to on my own. I was fully empowered, and as Pro Tools has grown, I've grown in my ability to use it. And what I love for me is that I really use it as not just a recording platform, but an incredibly creative one as well, down from having the ability to really look at music in a different way in terms of how I edit music and make editing become its own sort of instrument or creative process. For me, I love arrangement, and there's no better tool for getting creative with arrangement than working on Pro Tools. It's just been, for me, maybe the most important piece of equipment I've ever had in my life, hands down.
Wow. That's, I think, especially cool to hear from you, because you're fronting a band that is part of what I see as a return to musicianship. There's a couple bands out there right now. Adele's one of them. You guys are definitely one of them that harken back to a classic era music that, for some reason, has not been part of the popular landscape for a while.
Right. Which
is crazy. If you're thinking about the legacy of Stax and Motown, that's as important as rock and roll. Yet it's like this motif, it's this theme that people have not been exploring so much until more recently. And it's a very organic, natural vibe that you guys have, but you're using digital technology to help, like you said, compose, arrange, not just using it as a tape deck, but as an arrangement tool.
Well, for me, the first record, we really wanted to capture a vintage sound on the record. But for me, using Pro Tools, I know that it has the ability to have just as much warmth and saturation as analog does. In fact, now I think it surpasses it in many ways. And when people hear our first record, they're stunned that it was done totally digitally. You know, there is no tape, there was no board even used. It was pretty much exclusively internal plugins used. I think you just obviously have to know how to use the plugins and everything to your own advantage to create the kind of sonic landscape that you want. But I just found it to be actually very easy to get that warmth that we needed. And that, if anything, for us making the first record was being less proactive about, I'm going to show my version of Pro Tools here, beat detectiving and stuff like that. Sure. But, it was to when I first was a Pro Tools user, I got heavily into the tweakability, I could get in there and just turn the screws on everything. And the more I work with it, I sort of lessen my screwdriver on the system and just sort of let there be the mistakes show through, the imperfections of the performances, and was just a lot more sparing in my use of EQs and things like that. And that actually let us kind of create this more organic sound on a digital platform. But for me also, there was a lot of use of programming that you can't necessarily tell that there's programming on that first record, but it was definitely done. And I couldn't have done this record without doing it on Pro Tools and being in the digital world, even just in terms of, for me, I have a bad habit. I'm building my mixes as I'm recording because I want to enjoy listening to to the songs. And
That's not a bad habit.
and for me to like have the ability to just be controlling, automating everything is, you know, it just gives me so much power to kind of create the ultimate mix that I've always dreamed of, that you can never, I don't care what anybody says, when you're working on a board and you're recalling mixes, I just went through this experience. It's never quite the same.
No,
And
Polaroids and the piece of tape with the
it just is. I mean, I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You can never get back. And for me, just to always have the picture perfect place where I left off and be improving on it and be just dialing in my automation, just it's amazing to me.
So now you're working on your next record. How's your role as a producer changed in this? How much of that part of the workflow are you giving up? How much are you collaborating? How much hands-on are you going to be on this new record?
Well, the record's pretty much completed now, but we enlisted the help of Tony Hoffer, who
amazing producer, one of my favorites.
Yeah, mixed M83s, done Depeche Mode, The Kooks. I mean, amazing guy, was an amazing collaborator. Also somebody very integrated with Pro Tools.
Sure.
And the great thing for me was that I did a lot of the pre-production of the record at home. I mean, we sat there and wrote 40 songs in 30 days. And I'm never somebody that just writes a song on the piano. I'm automatically putting it into the Pro Tools domain.
Sure.
Because for me, with the power that I have with plugins and stuff, is I can create moods and atmospheres, and that's a really important part of defining what the character of the song's going to be. So I was able to really quickly, as we were writing, create these different sonic landscapes and atmospheres and vibes. And you know, if I wanted a super over-compressed sound, it's just really easy for me to do.
And then it creates a point of reference for the producer and for the mixer as you move forward,
and then
right?
we basically took all those Pro Tools sessions over to Tony. He opened them up, and then we had our base level of where we were even starting working on the record. And we ended up using a ton of my original EQing or delays or frequency filters that I was using, because the template was already there, the vibe was already there, and then we were just building from that.
Yeah. Putting flesh on the bone as you go along.
Exactly.
That's really cool. Well, man, I got to tell you, I am so thrilled to have you here. I cannot wait to see you guys play at our party.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it is going to be fun. Thanks
We're
a million for coming by.
We're going to be premiering a few of the new songs, so
oh, really?
looking forward to it. Yeah.
Can I come up on stage and dance?
You certainly can.
I'll hold the mirror. I'll be your hype man.
Sure.
A dress for it.
You better bring a cape.
Nice. Well, thanks a million for coming down.
Thank you.
Everybody keep staying tuned. We'll have more fun artist interviews with partners, all kinds of cool stuff coming at you from NAMM 2013. Take care.